Hi everyone, Daniel Eigenmann here. Today I want to talk to you about settlement agent, because what happens when you make an offer to buy a property in WA, you will typically sign a contract like this one. This is a template, this is a standard one, and you'll find that at the back of the contract, at the very bottom here, you will be asked for the details of your conveyancer. Conveyancer or settlement agent, these are the same people. Now, at the time you make the offer, you do not need to have a settlement agent. Do not be pressured by anyone to actually nominate one when you make the offer. You don't need to, all right? You have plenty of time once you've made your offer and it's been accepted to find the right one. So if you don't have a settlement agent, what you do, you just write to be advised or to be confirmed, and that's it. You can make the offer like that. Now, what I want to do, I've invited Kristy of Alpha Conveyancing, a settlement agent I've been working with for 3 years. Now we have a great relationship. Both of us work for our clients, the buyers. And I wanted to ask her a few questions because you, as a buyer, asking me all these questions. Now, what does a settlement agent actually does? Why do I need one? And how do I choose one? So, Kristy, welcome. Thank you for coming. Kristy, first question. Now, I'm a buyer. I've just made an offer. My offer has been accepted. I don't have a settlement agent. Why do I need one?
So the settlement agent's role essentially is to transfer the ownership of the property into your name legally, and to ensure that that's done properly and free of any concerns, and to make sure that once you are the owner of that property that you're not going to run into any problems. Okay,
so can I, as a buyer, can I do that myself?
You actually can do that yourself, however, it is actually quite a important and complicated process. Yes. So it's not something that you, unless you were really confident in, being able to do that yourself, it's not something that obviously we would recommend.
Do you find lots of people do their own? No. Unless you're a lawyer or conveyancer yourself, you wouldn't. Yeah. Okay, so really what you should do, and it's a small investment, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
All right, because you want to make sure that the ownership is transferred properly to you without any issues at the time of settlement and after settlement.
Yeah.
So now you understand that you need a settlement agent. How do I go about choosing a settlement agent?
Yeah, so Daniel's right. Like at the time of the offer, you don't need to nominate someone straight away. However, you do need to obviously have someone on board, sooner than later, so that then your conveyancer can start to assist you with the actual process. So what I would always say to people is that try and get a personal recommendation. The agent may be able to recommend someone that they trust and have been working with for a number of years also. Or you may have a broker, someone like Daniel, who can also say to you, look, I've worked with Alpha, and Kristi's someone that I know will do a very good job. I think a personal recommendation would be definitely your first option. Obviously, naturally, people with the internet, they're going to have a look around. It might be driven by location or price or an ad that's popped up, as you're searching for homes. I think all of those options are very good, but I would say that you would definitely be wanting to at least engage with that person over the phone, not just an automated kind of quote that there's no personal kind of element to it, and you really don't necessarily know what you're getting or how that person is going to actually interact with you and your broker and the team that's
right.
working.
I mean, from a broker's point of view, the interaction with the settlement agent is important.
Of course.
Because my job, your job as a settlement agent is to make sure that settlement happens smoothly.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, at some point, you're going to be presented with a quote.
Yes.
All right. So now it's going to be about price at some stage. It's not the main point, but it's an important point. Are there any differences between quotes or how things are quoted? What should I be watching out for?
Yeah, so the main thing with that is that you're wanting to get a quote that actually gives you all of the charges. At the moment, there are a number of agencies out there that are only quoting you or providing you with a settlement fee, but not the other mandatory charges that will go with the settlement.
So in other words, if you're asking, I guess that's a really, really good point. If you're asking your settlement agent for a quote, make sure you ask them for what are your settlement agent's fees as well as your mandatory fees.
Yeah.
Now, can you please make sure you provide me with a quote that includes all the fees, your fees and mandatory fees, so that you can then compare apples with apples, because unfortunately there are some people out there that will only quote you the settlement agent fees. So obviously when you compare an invoice with only settlement agent fees to one with all the fees, that one is going to look cheaper. But it doesn't mean you'll end up paying less.
And the other fees, the fees that are typically left off a quote for different reasons are mandatory fees. So it's not like they're fees that anyone can avoid. They're just fees that you are actually going to get charged whether you sell or buy a property. So it's important that you know that those costs are actually going to be incurred at settlement.
I think that's a really good point. So how do you choose your settlement agent? The first one is get in touch with them, talk to them, not just email or text. Make sure you are comfortable with the person at a personal level, because that person will play a very important role in making sure that settlement happens smoothly. For me as a broker, I know that working smoothly with a settlement agent will help as well. So make sure you find people that you're first of all comfortable with, and then make sure that when you're asking them for a quote, make sure you ask for a quote that includes all the fees. The big ones are your fees as a settlement agent, as well as the mandatory fees, so that you can, get at least two, I would say, two fees, and make sure then you compare apples with apples. Then you can make a decision. Yeah? Okay, great.
Definitely.
So hopefully, I hope that that short video was helpful to you. Remember, a settlement agent is required when you buy a property. Or sell a property, that's right. Hopefully now you understand how to select a settlement agent, what's important when comparing one quote to the other. If you've got any questions, you can always leave a message down there from me. I will leave them the contacts, Kristy's contacts, if you want to get in touch with her. But I can highly recommend Kristi. We worked together for 3 years. Great. When you quote, all the fees are there. There's no surprises. Okay, great. Thank you very much. Talk to you soon.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thanks, Kristi.
Bye.
Bye.